I know very well of the debate about gender roles. The man is supposed to protect, provide, profess, all those things, and the woman is supposed to take care of the home and all that stuff. The truth is, gender roles are not that rigid. Gender roles are not that rigid. You see, when God made us, the first statement He made. Meanwhile, watch this. A whole chapter away before we start talking about a woman. God made man in his own image. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 and 28. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. God made man, and he made man male and female. The first man that was made was male and female because he was made in the image of God, who is all things. So the first man that was made is the man that was given the instruction, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion. Listen, that instruction was given to man. 2 chapters later, when the devil tempted Eve, we find Eve giving answers to the devil that were clearly statements that were made to Adam. So Adam clearly, obviously, had been spending time showing Eve what the Lord had given him. And that's the role of the man. You are the one giving the vision. You are the one giving the responsibility. The concept of it's only women who are supposed to carry babies, that is not entirely true. It's only women who can carry babies in the womb, clearly. It's only women who can breastfeed, clearly. But the concept of, say, for example, in Numbers chapter 11, when Moses was lamenting the people who were given to him, he had gotten it, he had had it up to here. And I was like, have I conceived all these people? I was talking to God. Have I begotten them, that thou shouldest say unto me, carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father beareth the sucking child unto the land, etc. So the concept of a nursing father is not that far-fetched. The idea that a man can and should take care of a baby is not that far-fetched. So it's not strictly a woman's job. Okay. Also, what about doing dishes or cleaning the house? There's another passage. I don't remember where it is. Where hold on a second. Where there it is. I found it. Second Kings. Where God was talking about punishing Ahab. And God made a statement. He said, I will stretch over Jerusalem the line of Samaria and the plummet of the house of Ahab, and I will wipe Jerusalem as a man wipeth a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. The concept of a man wiping a dish is not too far-fetched either. So it's not strictly the woman's job. It's the man's job. That's why when Adam and Eve fell and God came into the garden, even though Eve was the one who had been deceived, the first person God spoke to is Adam. Adam, where are you? I was ashamed, and it was the woman. Adam got a curse because you have done this thing. After God had punished Adam and punished Eve and punished the serpent, God said, because you have done this thing and you have hearkened to the voice of your wife, cursed is the ground for your sake. Fast forward several thousand years to the time of David, after he had killed Uriah and taken Bathsheba to be his wife. Here is a fact. David did not rape Bathsheba. There was no point where it was recorded that or reported that Bathsheba resisted him. So it was a mutual kind of thing, you invited the woman. Yeah, you could say that he was the king and she was afraid to disobey the king. Well, she still didn't tell her husband the truth, and so on and so forth. And now her husband is dead, and now she moved into the king's house and she had the baby. When God would show up, God did not say a word. He did not say a word to Bathsheba. He spoke to David. You will die. Wow, David lamented, okay, you will not die. But that baby will die because of who you are. And if we read uh, Psalm 51, where David was praying and crying over his sin, we find that David did not mention Bathsheba at all either. What am I trying to say? Let me draw it straight to a point. It's your responsibility, it's your fault, it's your situation. You have to answer for it. A lot of women don't understand this, and that's why they take matters into their own hands. God holds you as a man responsible for everything that happens in your house, in your domain, in your country, on this planet. Or you think I'm making that up? Genesis chapter 9, I'd like to quote that properly. When Noah came out of the ark, and God said, I'm going to hold every man. He said, and surely your blood for your lives, this is Genesis chapter 9, verse 5. And surely your blood for your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. If a beast kills a human being, that beast got to die. And at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother, will I require the life of man. Listen, you think it's a joke, especially when it comes to this pro-choice, pro-life debate. You think it's a joke that people are dying around you? God will require it of your hand. At the hand of man will I require the life of every man. At the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. So listen, everything going on in your domain is your fault. It's your responsibility. God expects you to do something about it as a man. So this issue of male roles, female roles, it doesn't matter. It behooves you. It's your duty. It's your responsibility. It's a burden upon your shoulders to do something about it. If it is prayer, you have to pray. If it is action, you have to take. Whatsoever it is that you need to do, you must do as a man. So what then is the role of the woman? The Bible says, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make a help. The woman was made to help him. Madam, whatsoever that help is, that's who you are. Incidentally, you have the breasts. Incidentally, you have the womb. Incidentally, you have the emotional disposition to handle certain things that the man cannot handle. So you are already pre-designed to handle those roles. And that's why the Bible tells us in Titus chapter 2 that you, the woman, should be keepers at home. You are designed for that. Don't get me wrong. It's the man's responsibility. It's his duty. The burden is on him. And if he fails, God will deal with him, even if he does not take good care of you. This is where men are failing. You can't push the burden onto the woman. It's your responsibility. Like Biden is saying right now, I said the buck stops with him, even though he's blaming everybody else for it. It's your responsibility. It's your duty as a man. Whatever happens within your domain, whatever happens under your watch, it's on you. Doesn't mean that you have to become a bully or a tyrant. It means you go down on your knees and ask for grace to handle it. That's the test that Solomon passed. When God appeared to him in the dream and said, what do you want? What do you need? He said, you have made me king over these people. I don't know how to do it. Help me. Sir, that's your job as a man. Ask God to help you. Help me. Help me. I need wisdom. I need knowledge. I need understanding. I need wherewithal. I need ability to handle this job. And when your woman misbehaves, Baba, it's your fault. Even if she's the one who messed up, you have to take it as your responsibility and drop on your knees and ask God for mercy. And God was impressed with Solomon's prayer. God told him, you know what? I'm going to do better than what you have asked for. I'm going to give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to do that which you are required to do. But I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to, the Bible says, if a man's way pleases the Lord will cause his enemies to be at peace with him. He said, there shall nobody be able to rise up against you as long as you live. Even when Solomon sinned, God did not allow his enemy to rise up against him. Why? Because Solomon passed the test. What was it? What was it? Said, is it money? I'm going to bless you. So Solomon didn't ask for money and he didn't ask for victory over his enemies. Oh, you fall down and die, people. Enemy, fall down and die. Enemy, people arrows from my father's house. All that one has nothing to do with anything. Focus on the duty that God has placed in your hands. The world around you, the people in your domain, your wife, your children. He said, I trust Abraham because I know him. How will I do these things without telling my friend? Because I know he will command this family. Listen, take charge of the people in your domain. Be responsible for that. That's your job, sir. Madam, whether he is obeying the word or not, your job is to be in submission to him. The Bible says this in Hebrews chapter 13. Says, listen, make it easy for him, because if it is not easy for him, it will not be profitable for you. Anybody that has authority over you, let it be easy for him. Submit to them. Help them to do their job. When their arms are weak, hold their hands up. I'll tell a short story about a friend, and I don't know if he's watching this, who came to me when he was dead. Basically, like when I say financially dead, as in everything was gone. And I had a question to speak with his wife. And I spoke to his wife, Madam, if you love this man, when you get home tonight, make love to him and don't ask for anything. And when you're done making love to him, put your head on his chest and say nothing. Essentially, I'm teaching her, I was helping her to understand what this man needs is your support. The fact that A, you're not condemning him, B, you are trusting him, C, you still care about him and you are there with him every step of the way. A couple of days later, the man came up with a brilliant idea. And well, thank God, as the story goes, I don't know how many years it was. It's close to 10 years now, if I recall correctly. 6, 7 years. Let's just say that they've done better. I'm not saying there are still no challenges, but they've done better. What's the point? The point is, madam, your job, whether the man is doing well or not, is to support him. If you back down on him, if you back out on him when he's having that problem, you are the one who failed. Said if you fail in the if you I don't remember how the passage is. If you fail in the day of temptation, it will be there on the screen. Then your strength indeed is weak. So this is where men have failed, and women rise when men fail. That is true. It's an abomination, and we find that, of course, in Romans chapter 1, where where we see, listen, said, for the invisible things of God from the creation of the world are clearly seen. Okay, but now he's talking about us, men, generally human beings, but men. Said, because that when we knew God, we did not glorify God as God. We were not thankful. We became vain in our imaginations, and because of that, our foolish hearts was darkened. How now it expresses how our foolish heart has been darkened. Our foolish heart has been darkened. Said, because we did not give God glory as God. We were not thankful for the life that He has given us. We did not live the life that God expected us to live. We started professing ourselves to be wise, but basically we were becoming fools. Okay, we have changed, and so on and so forth. Now, all of that from verse 21 down to about 25. Are you getting me? It's explaining some of the stupid things we have done because we think we are wise in our own eyes. Say we have changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image like a corruptible man, a four-footed beast and birds. Said we have now become to God has given us up to uncleanness through the lust of our hearts, to dishonor our bodies between ourselves. So we have changed the truth of God into a lie. We have worshipped the creature more than the creator. So because of this, God has given us onto vile affections, and as a result, our women changed the natural use into that which is against nature. The cart has now gone in front of the horse. The helper has now begun to call the shots. It's an abomination. It's corruption. I am not derogating women here. I'm saying that there is a role and a position that God created for each and every one. What was it that the preacher said? Ecclesiastes says, "I've seen a terrible thing in the earth. That servants are riding horses and princes are walking." I know I'm not quoting that correctly, but it will be on the screen. We have turned our world upside down, so that women now say they don't need men. But the Bible is telling us here that they are in so doing, they are turning the natural use into that which is against nature. Sir, it is your fault. You are the one who failed, sir. And you need to humble yourself and pray and seek the face of the Lord and turn from your wicked ways, so that He will hear from heaven, forgive your sin, and heal your land. Anybody who does not know that Joe Biden is being controlled by people like Nancy Pelosi, I don't think Kamala Harris is that smart, but hey, I don't mean to be mean to her or anything. Anybody who does not know that that is true, I don't know what's up with you. Get your act together. There was this video I saw by Glenn Beck where Nancy Pelosi was caught on a hot mic, and she was like, "No, we don't want Joe to talk. We don't want him to do." Someone was asking, should Joe Biden answer? And she thought she asked the question, was like, "Is my mic off?" And then she said, "No, we don't want him to talk." So clearly she's the one calling the shots for what this man says. It's an abomination. We didn't elect her. America didn't elect. I'm not American and I'm not in America. America didn't elect her, but she's calling the shots for this person. So what am I trying to say? It's an abuse. It's an abomination. It's a failure of men that allows these things to happen. So it is men who need to take up that mantle, humble themselves and pray. And women, we need to start praying for these men. Women, you need to start praying for these men. Humble yourselves and pray. Pray that God will uphold these men. Pray that God will lift them up. Because when things are turned upside down, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? So this is where men are failing. And the video about, I saw it on Glenn Beck show a couple of weeks maybe ago. I'll try and look for it, and I'll probably link it up there so that you can watch it yourself and see it. So I'm not making these things up. I'm not just talking from the back of from my behind. I'm just telling it to you the way it is. This is the word of the Lord. Take it or leave it. Or take it. Leave a comment. Ask a question. Drop an insult. Drop some encouragement. Click on like or dislike. Click on notifications so you get the next video when it comes in. Subscribe if you want to. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Share this video. Let somebody know. Let somebody have the opportunity to hear these words and possibly fix their lives. Have a wonderful day.